So today I will talk about Swastika, a symbol that is there in every Hindu household on the door. In the marriage, you have seen they put cow dung cake and some coins and golds, and they draw swastika. Every single holy symbol there is swastika. But internet is flooded with lots of misinformation, abuse against the Hindus in the name of Hitler, and several absolute rubbish hypotheses and theories that is very disturbing. So today I will clear out many of these swastikas. First of all, there are two types of swastikas. One is clockwise, one is anti-clockwise. And we say that Hitler's swastika is on the other side than the Hindu swastika. They have a different rotational system. So they are not similar. So don't please mix us with Hitler. Come on, that is not the case. If you go to 2500 BC in Harappa Mohenjo-daro civilization, you can find symbol of swastika. There is no oldest symbol of swastika anywhere in the world. So swastika was born in India, and both clockwise and anti-clockwise was born in India. When it is clockwise, then it shows the spiral. Clockwise, you see my video on Om. You have anti-clockwise motion, clockwise motion, and superposition of clockwise and anti-clockwise motion. So swastika is no different than the Om symbol that Hindus write, because there is a clockwise spiral and anti-clockwise spiral. Why these four branches are coming out, I will talk that about in a moment. But the first thing first is both clockwise represent the rising sun, the positive energy or the brightness that is coming out, the gradient. And the anti-clockwise swastika you can also find in several instances all over India, especially those the tantric or mystic or dark energy, the worshippers of dark energy, and those kind of monk and gurukulas, those who are following this lineage of monks. They follow the dark color path, and then tantra sadhana, that where we wish to use absolute darkness, because the light comes from the deepest corner of darkness. That is the Hindu Vedic scripture suggests. So we worship both light, bright light, and darkness simultaneously, because they both come out of Bindu. Bindu, you can see my episode on Bindu. Bindu is a point where the universe is one of the hypotheses how universe got created. So from Bindu there is a anti-clockwise, there is a clockwise, and there is a superposition of anti-clockwise and clockwise. So swastika is a symbol where both clockwise and anti-clockwise rotation is owned by Hindus. It is not Hitler who rotated in other direction and got it messed it up. So swastika is a symbol that you can find everywhere in the world, And in 1930s, when Hitler first started as a chancellor, first thing that he did, he sent out the historians all over the world, and they came to Tibet and all different kind of places to find out the Aryan symbols of Aryan race. There were 11 or 12 symbols of Aryan races, and if you look at those documents, you have already seen that there is a danda. Now it is set it up in parliament from the Chola Raja. Narendra Modi has done that. But that particular symbol of conch shell-like symbols, that was the Aryan race's symbols. Hitler tried to steal it, but those 12 symbols, the chakra that you see, Narayan's chakra, swastika, that Sāṃkhya of that holy danda that we use. So similarly, there were 12 different symbols. You have already seen it in the internet, so I'm not going to get into details. So swastika is one of those symbols of that lost race, but the race was never lost. The race were there. We Hindus can directly identify with all the 12 symbols that who were they. But Hitler was not ready to accept that the Hindus would be that lost race who were once all over the world, and they went every different places with their symbols. So their symbols, clockwise or anti-clockwise, both owned by Hindus. one for the dark force or energies, and one for the white or bright forces of energies. So from in the brightness, you find black spot or dark spot, because that is one side of the creation of the universe. And if you have a dark patch and then we put a white dot, that is other side of the universe, and you put them superposed with each other, and that is the origin of the universe. So that's kind of a dual perspective superposition, which is also reflected in the Om. So clockwise, anti-clockwise, and your superposition of clockwise and anti-clockwise. So if you take a white square and you put a black dot, and a black square put a white dot, and you superpose with each other, that is other side of the same coin, is a philosophy that is there. That's why we do not differentiate dark energy with the positive energy, because you have read about this particular philosophy several times. So in the next part, in a moment, I will get back to different other interesting aspects of swastika that you don't find in the internet. Stay tuned, just a moment. Especially you will find that Japanese Buddhists, they prefer anti-clockwise and not clockwise. But Shinto religion also uses swastika, but they have both the symbols they use simultaneously. And they say Ame no Kaname, that is and whole peace to all the four directions. Jains use clockwise, just like Hindus, but tantrics in Hinduism, and they use other side round. So 1940s, after Hitler's symbol of swastika, he wanted to prove that they were the Aryans. So he twisted the history, but even if they twisted, the truth remains prevalent, because many thousands years before, you can find swastika in Russia, you can find many places in Africa, especially Latin America, Southern America, in Maya civilization and all others. You will find coexistence of both directions. So it's even in the Middle East, you will find swastika in both directions. So it is never that forward direction is for this race and this culture, other side anti-clockwise rotation is for other culture. So there is no such separation at all. And as far as Hindus are concerned, both are same, as I already told you. So for Hindus, Virata Puruṣa Pada. So pada is very important, as I said. Jala 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 prajala 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 susumna prajala susumna susumna pathena mahashiva pade biniyaga is the mantra. So mahashiva pada is the pons, and at the bottom of the spinal cord we have corpus callosum, from where the Kula Kundalini is there. So when it gets brightened up, and then all part gets enlightened, we say it's the first footstep of Shiva. Maha Shiva Pada. Pada means lake, Shiva is Shiva, beyond existence, and Maha means the greatness. So we get consciousness because Shiva puts his footsteps on the pons, that is the top of the spinal cord, where you see cerebrospinal fluid is covering all part, and then the majority of the brain stem cells is over there. So I know this because my father died when blood dropped in that region, because blood vessels were around. We could not do any operation, and he died. So he lose consciousness after a few days. If that happens, your neural network connection goes. The cerebrospinal fluid cleans up that blood clot, but still the person never comes back to consciousness. So I felt in my heart what is the true meaning of Mahashiva Pada. So Pada, Virat Purusha's Pada is swastika. So swastikas, the Hindus say that these are the 4 different arms. So 4 different arms is necessary. So when it is clockwise, it's a Rajaguna. When it is reverse side, then it is Tamaguna. Then where is Sattaguna? Because if you send it to infinity and you bring it back from infinity, then that feedback is the central point, that is Svataguna. So you see that there are so much similarities between Om and Swastika. You have anti-clockwise and clockwise and superposition of clockwise and anti-clockwise. This is how you write Om. And you have clockwise swastika, anti-clockwise swastika, and Majika, the Japanese Shinto religion, they always put side by side. So it's a beauty, it's exclusivity that you can see there. So Mundaka Upanishad, the Turiya state is at that center dot. So from the dot, anti-clockwise, clockwise, and superposition of clockwise and anti-clockwise, that dot is Bindu, where the universe is there. And in Swastika also, you will find that two branches are there, and that creates a central point, and that is the Bindu. So the Bindu is common in both Swastika and Om. There is a widely ranging view of swastika that I must bring to your notice, which you will not find in the internet in the discussions. So apart from the fact that after Hitler used the swastika 45-degree rotated, it is neither clockwise nor anti-clockwise. People started changing that because it became Holocaust taboo all over the world, and especially to the Western civilization. So what happened is Japan, Mazi, they wanted to change it, but they kept it in 1920 to only after there was an educational movement here in all over Japan that we will not change our symbol just because of them. So similarly, at many different places, Hindus started defending themselves that ours one is not so similar. Hindus should own the symbol and take it back, because Hitler had no right to take it. So now I bring to your final points, a final point of discussion, where I will tell you something very, very exciting. So you see the point that is Bindu, origin of the universe, and where entire universe is there. So you see that clockwise 4 branches are coming. So these 4 branches define 4 different kind of dynamics, and you have read about them, so I'm not getting into detail, but I want to bring your notice to a very exciting thing. You see, point is there, and you are branching it out clockwise in 4 different ways, just spiraling out. Where have you seen this spirals? This is the spirals, you have seen this in the galaxies. And have you ever noticed whether they are clockwise or anti-clockwise? You would surely do a Google search, and I will create an episode on this, that why most of the structure that you see is clockwise. And then we have helical systems in the DNA, is helical, microtubule helical. Inside every single protein molecule, if you go, you will find a helical structure. So helical or helical symmetry is fundamental to the universe. So in 2010, we filed a US patent on a device, a 4th circuit element device inspired by microtubule. After we doing quantum mechanical studies, we proposed this device as the fundamental device of the universe and the fundamental decision-making device of the universe. So we proposed this, that because these are helical or vortices that is coming out from the center is also the foundation of geometric phase. So Pancharatnam from Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, Calcutta, in 1950s, he proposed, and that became the foundation of quantum mechanics, that if a circle tried to come back in the same point, then it cannot. It goes on keeping in a spiral loop. Where did you hear this? This is Rita. This is the fundamental property of Rita everywhere. So Pancharatnam was inspired, and he created this proposal, which in 1952 later, Pancharatnam's work was taken up by Berry, but Pancharatnam died by that time at a young age, so Berry got the Nobel Prize. Pancharatnam did not. So the quantum computer that we are now building, we have given the name Pancharatnam in his name, because otherwise his contributions, we could not have done this. So in Swastika, when you see that there is a clockwise branching out and the anti-clockwise branching out, these are the 2 fundamental rotational systems that you see everywhere in biology. So the helicity could be either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Depending on that, polarization of the systems would change, and that is fundamental to our bodily structures. So left side rotation, you will find majority of the biological helices. Not just that, you will find helicity in northern side of northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. It tries to prefer the small plants. When they branch out, they follow different directions. So this Borealis forces and others, in Young concept, everywhere you will find the superposition and the duality of the clockwise and anti-clockwise rotation. So next time, please do not withdraw yourself from clockwise or anti-clockwise. That's a total misconception. Own both, because you are fundamentally connected to both. Duality of both is your fundamental to Hinduism. So if you like this video, do like and subscribe and follow the channels and see other videos. And if you can enjoy, advise me how to make better. But I am a scientist working here, so it is not possible for me to make professional videos for marketing and doing this. So I can't do it because I don't have time. But I will keep on sending you materials from my personal notes that I have gathered over the years. Thank you.